We do have a quorum. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Lukemeyer.
Here.
O'Laughlin. Here. Searpoy. May. Williams.
We have quorum. First up is going to be Senate Bill 666. Senate Bill 666. Senator Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. I appreciate you hearing the bill this morning. So this bill is actually meant to streamline some systems within the state and actually save the state a whole lot of money. So this bill would require the Missouri Ethics Commission to notify the candidate or treasurer of their campaign committee by any method, not just registered mail, if they fail to file campaign finance reports. It would also allow the Department of Revenue to notify individuals of deficiencies by first-class mail or email at the taxpayer's request, and it would allow taxpayers other than individuals to receive, like businesses, things like that, to receive electronic notices from the Department of Revenue. And the third thing it does is it would allow recipients of the Blind Pension Fund to be served notice by regular mail, not certified, except if it's an adverse action, which would still be delivered by certified mail. Like in the instance of the blind pension, the notices get put on their door. They never even know they're there. It doesn't really make sense. And every year the state gets, I think Department of Revenue will tell you some statistics, but they get hundreds of letters returned that are never picked up. It's staggering the amount it just doesn't make sense to use a certified mail, because some people, when they see they have certified mail, they intentionally don't pick it up. So I think this is a great bill. It will streamline things. It will save the state a whole lot of money. And I'm happy to answer questions. I think Zach is behind me, that he can testify and give you some specifics as well.
Any questions for Senator Crawford? Seeing none. Witnesses in support.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Zach Wyatt, the Legislative Director for the Missouri Department of Revenue, and it's kind of intimidating. I have, Senator O'Laughlin, who's kind of my quasi-senator from where I grew up, and then I have my own senator for where I live sitting here. So this is a fun. Well, see, I knew that too. So. But no, so this bill actually came to fruition over the multiple years that the department has come forth and had to ask every year in the last, I think in my last 8 years, we've had to ask in supplemental for extra money for postage, because as we all know, postage rates have been going up twice a year now, and we're slated to see another rate increase come this next July. We had our last rate increase in January. So Missouri law currently requires notices of assessment. So anything for like underpayment of taxes, misfilings, or underpaid amounts to be sent by certified mail. And we actually find that 80% of our certified mail that we send out actually comes back to the department. It is not picked up. And we saw this actually increase during the time of COVID, because of the post offices were only operating at set hours, like 30 minutes or an hour at a time during the day. And a lot of people are working, and they're not, they work their 8 to 5 jobs. Well, post offices are usually open only 8 to 5. So it seems like that we've worked with the different organizations, our different partners, AIM and Society of CPAs, to come to this bill. And we think that it could potentially save the state up to or even more than $1.2 million in the long run. And it just allows for the option for businesses to receive things electronically. So if you think of businesses, they change their people so often that maybe a notice might not be, they might not they might not even get the notice. So this will allow for it to go to a central email that they'll be able to look at it and be able to be more streamlined for them as well. So we think it's a big win for the state.
Any questions for Zach?
Mr.
Senator
Chair,
Williams.
please.
Senator Williams.
Zach, just real quick, you said that this will save the state money, and how much again?
Up to or over $1.2 million because of the increase that's going to happen in July, that savings will continually grow because of each increase in postage. Because currently it costs $3.50 more per certified mailing than it does for first class mailing.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further questions for Zach? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Thank
Do
you.
we have any witnesses in opposition to this bill? Seeing none, any further witnesses in support of this legislation? Seeing none, Senator Crawford, any concluding remarks?
I just appreciate the time.
Thank you. That will conclude the hearing on Senate Bill 666. Next up, we have a much more pleasant bill number. Senate Joint Resolution 64. Senator Gregory, whenever you're ready.
Like hotels, I think we need to eliminate that bill number from the stack. Like there's no 413s. That's just me. State Senator Curtis Gregory, 21st District, Senate Joint Resolution 64. Something I just kind of picked up on is I've heard some people mention at some point in time talking about qualifications for office, that there were certain statewides that are 10-year, have to be a resident of the state for 10 years, and others are just 1 year, and kind of like there's no way that can actually be possible. And then so I picked up the handy-dandy Constitution, started flipping through qualifications, and sure enough, that's the case. So currently, Attorney General, State Treasurer, and Secretary of State would have to have the same qualifications as the governor, which is how it's worded for the others, which is being at least 30 years old, being a citizen of the United States for at least 15 years, and a resident of this state for at least 10 years before the next election. And so it would just put all of our statewides on the same level. Just for me, as I think through it, we've got a statewide potential office holder that could move in from the state of Florida or New York or California, and with enough money in the course of a year and a day, become a statewide office holder. And I think our statewide office holders needs to be modified Missourians. And so with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Senator. So I'm looking here right now. It looks like you're adding AG, Secretary of State, and the Treasurer. So am I correct in assuming then that the Lieutenant Governor has the same qualification requirements as the Governor?
If my research is correct, that is true.
Okay.
I could be mistaken. I just was sitting, going through and earmarking everything, and this is what we came up with.
Okay. And the other statewide official that's missing is the auditor. So I'm assuming the auditor also has a 10-year residency requirement?
Again, the way I understand it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if it was just the Lieutenant Governor, I would maybe understand a little bit of the distinction because the Lieutenant Governor is next in line to be Governor, so you would want those qualifications to match. But I guess if Auditor and all of the other statewides were this lesser one, that would be the reason for the justification. But if there are some other statewides other than Lieutenant Governor that don't have the same qualification standard, that seems to be a little bit incongruent, and I'm not really sure why that would be.
And this is, to me, this is no different than the simple fact that we've got some statewides with term limits and some statewides with no term limits. It's like, why is that? Like, how did we miss the boat there?
I had a joint resolution to deal with that a few years ago, and voters very narrowly turned it down. So I agree that there should be some consistency when it comes to those types of things. So thank you for presenting the bill. Any further questions for the sponsor? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Any witnesses in support of Senate Joint Resolution 64? Any witnesses in opposition of Senate Joint Resolution 64? Any witnesses for informational purposes only for Senate Joint Resolution 64? That will conclude the hearing on Senate Joint Resolution 64. I would now make a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those the contrary, no. The ayes have it. We are in executive session. I would now like to bring up for the committee's consideration the one bill that we have on the House consent calendar, which is House Bill 810. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The bill is before the committee for discussion. Like before, we will not take a vote on this. This is just for the committee to examine whether we want to leave House Bill 810, which is sponsored by Representative Ben Baker, to leave it on the consent calendar. This is the bill that creates a memorial highway name after his daughter and son-in-law who were tragically killed last year. I don't know if there's any discussion on this. Obviously, I believe very strongly we should leave this on the consent calendar. Seeing no further discussion, I would now make a motion that we exit executive session. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. You guys have it. We're out of executive session. I would now make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. We are adjourned.